Okay, guys, so we are back with another interview. We are going to be interviewing the GOAT, Ote.Jpeg. Look, I've known Ote.Jpeg for a while. I connected with him, I think probably 2022, 2023. He was doing different kind of style back then, but now he's doing the most, in my opinion, some of the most interesting hyperpop, some J-pop kind of music now. I don't think that there's really any other artist that could compare to Ote.Jpeg. He's artistically brilliant, creatively intuitive, very intentional with the messaging that he delivers, and he's a masterful storyteller. I'm really excited to get into this. I've only done 2 interviews. This one is much longer than the last one. It has taken me forever to edit. So I'm really excited for you guys to see this interview that we've got right now with Ote.Jpeg. Tap in. Let's go. We are here with the one and the only Ote.Jpeg. How are you
Yes,
doing,
sir.
man?
I'm good, dude. It's
Dude,
good to talk to you again. It's been a while.
it's been a while, man. What have you been doing today?
Sorry, what's that?
I said, what have you been doing today? What have you been up to?
Today, I made myself some avocado toast and some, those pretzel bites that have the peanut butter inside?
Mm-hmm.
Had a bunch of those.
Those are awesome.
And that's it. I've just been taking it slow. Oh, I got a magazine feature today.
Oh, really?
Pro Blue Music Mag, yeah. It's like let me pull it up. It's like the local music publication in Utah, but they reached out to me. It was kind of funny. They reached out to me when I was kind of blowing up on TikTok, and then we did the interview over email, and then I completely fell off. All my views crashed. So I thought they weren't going to post it because that was like a month ago,
Yeah.
and they just finally did. So it was cool to see.
What
Yes.
inspired you to start making music? I remember whenever you were posting on TikTok and you were posting the common thought stuff, and you were posting the the stuff with funeral and whatnot. What got you inspired to start making music?
My very first experience making music was when I moved to northern Utah with my family when I was I want to say 6 years old, 5 or 6, and I had this kid at my church, and his family was very musical, so they had a studio in their house, and we would go to his house and write songs together. We would also listen to Linkin Park and coordinate dances to Hybrid Theory songs, which was awesome. But that was my very first experience writing, and then it kind of fell off. And then later in high school, I had a really good friend who would invite me over to his house to record more rap style stuff. So we'd find beats on YouTube, record in his basement.
Okay.
But it never was serious until I was 25 or 20. When was Common Thoughts? Common Thoughts was, I think I was 24. And for people who aren't familiar with the lore like you, nobody knows me like you do, Zoo. But Common Thoughts was the EP I did that I actually deleted. There's no trace of it on the internet anymore. I didn't know what kind of music I wanted to make at that time. And I think it was a good learning opportunity for me to just make something. I think a lot of people keep stuff vaulted and they're well, I'm just learning, I'm just gonna keep stuff vaulted. But I think the anxiety just builds. The longer you go without releasing and you're building this catalog and you got 2-3 years worth of songs, I think it's just harder and harder to release at that point, even if you're getting better. Might as well just drop. You can always delete it.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people are so focused on having this super cool vault, but at the end of the day, it's you can have a super cool vault, but if you're not putting any of it out there, it's it really doesn't even matter, because music, I feel is meant to be heard, and if you're keeping it for yourself, it's why even?
Yeah, absolutely. Dude, it's the same with people who don't want to promote or don't want to post on TikTok or something. It's if you wanted to make music just for you, you don't need to release it. Just hold on to that,
Yeah.
But it's people will post, and then I have a lot of friends who they want the cardi aesthetic. They want to be mysterious and if you know type of music. But then nobody knows because they've never Cardi still paid his dues to get to the point where he could be mysterious,
Exactly. Yeah, I remember. I forgot who it was. I think Malcolm Todd. Before you even can be mysterious, you have to put music out there. You have to be at a certain level in order to be mysterious, which I think a lot of artists are completely forgetting. Something I want to ask you, because you make such a broad range of music. What are some of your inspirations for whenever you are making music?
When I first got into hyperpop, it was definitely Breakins, Roy 404, Veo, Dylan Brady. But more recently, I've been listening to a lot of the Marias. Do you know the Marias?
I don't think I do. I don't think I do.
You don't? They're incredible, dude. You gotta listen to them. What else have I been listening to? A lot of Japanese music, a lot of Japanese artists, but I've been leaning into a lot more of a softer sound recently, and I'm kind of nervous to put out like me and Midi are working on an album right now,
Mm,
and it's not like House of Glass, Big Star, like
yeah.
screamy music anymore, and so I'm a little nervous. But yeah, when I first got started, it was very traditional, like mainstream hyperpop
Yeah.
influence, and I think that I had a lot of fun with it. But I just want to do something that feels a little more like my own vein, because I think you could probably slot me pretty easy into, I don't want to say like a clone, but I'm Breakins adjacent, I'm Rory adjacent, you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah. Definitely not clone music at all. I think whenever I'm like listening to your music, I definitely get more of that Veo energy, and especially like ever since you were in Japan, I was noticing the softer stuff, which I love. I feel like
Hmm.
the last project that you put out almost felt like scenes in music I would find in an anime, if that makes sense. Like when I was listening to it, I was like, this feels like anime. Like it doesn't feel like anime music. You know what I'm saying? But it feels like
Mm.
if your music wasn't an anime, I wouldn't bat an eye. If that makes sense.
You, bro, you know what's crazy is the homie I share my studio with in Tokyo is he's in this group called Super Dragon. It's like a J-pop group, and they have a song that's in an anime. And I think some of that influence from him and just like the J-rock stuff I've been listening to, I think is definitely bleeding in. But I think that's good for me. Like I said, I love the Rory break-ins, like that traditional. I don't know if you can call it traditional. That hyperpop sound I think is very recognizable, and I love it. But I just want to feel like I'm doing something that's a bit of a new twist on it, and not just another artist in that vein. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but yes, sir.
Speaking of like Veo and break-ins and like other hyperpop artists, I know that one of the first songs that you put out with Funeral was
Mhm.
like, I know it got you a lot of recognition. A lot of Funeral fans started tapping into you. What are some artists that you would like to work with in the future, or do you want to kind of just focus on the OTE stuff with like MIDI?
Yeah, I there's a lot of Japanese artists I really want to work with. And it's tricky because it's like I don't think any of the U.S. fans will care. Like if I'm a huge fan of this guy, Lil Besh Ramco. I'm gonna type it for you so you can look it up later. He's incredible, dude, and he's really popped off like the last year or so in Tokyo. I would love to work with him. I want to try and work something out, but I also worry. I don't know. Have you heard Six Voicemails, my song that has the Japanese feature?
Yeah,
I've talked to a lot of like US based fans and just friends of mine as well, and they all say like, yeah, that's probably the weakest point in the EP for me because they just don't understand what he's saying.
yeah,
And so I've really struggled with that. And like me and John, the kid I'm sharing the studio with, who's in the J-pop group, we've been trying to work on songs that are like kind of call and response between Japanese and English and repeating kind of the same thing. So I'm hoping that if I can nail down something like that, where the meaning translates no matter what language you're listening in, and then get a cool feature like this, like Lil Besh Ramco. I feel like I can really pull that off. Sorry, I got off track. I'm gonna give you an actual list of artists now that I want to work with. One is Ramco, Lil Besh
okay,
Ramco.
okay.
Have you ever heard of Kegon?
Say
Kegon, Japanese kid.
no.
I'm gonna type it for you. Bro, he has this Kesha remix. I don't think he gets anything cleared, but he still releases it on Apple Music and stuff. But he'll use like Kesha samples and like these huge artist samples and just like the whole chorus. It's like a whole chorus pulled from like Die Young by Kesha, but then it has this crazy Japanese rap on it.
It's
It's
crazy.
so sick. As far as like US based, I'd love to work with Rory. I feel like now that Rory's doing more like EDM-y stuff, I don't know how well it would work, but would love to work with Rory, would love to work with Veo.
Well, what's crazy? Vale just followed me on TikTok, so
Oh shit.
maybe I'll post this and see if Vale will.
Yo, I still have the money ready. I have it set aside. I really want to work with Corefish.
Yeah,
I've talked to Corefish a bit too. Corefish, I is just picky about what he works on. I've sent a couple things to him, but nothing's worked so far.
I would love to see you and Rory 44 on a song though. That would be so sick. That would be so sick.
That would.
Would you ever like try? Well, I know you said you're focused on like more of the J-pop stuff, but would you ever try like some of the more EDM stuff, or you want to kind of like stray away from that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'd love to, and I think Big Star feels a little EDM-y,
Yeah.
and especially in the end. And me and Midi have talked about doing like an OTE project. So it's like Ote.Jpeg's my artist project, right? Midi might do his own personal releases, but we've talked about doing like a crew project.
Yeah.
In which case I would be more of like a feature there, and Midi would probably primarily, direct the direction of that project. But if we did something like that, that's not under the JPEG name, I feel like it'd be easier to do more EDM type stuff.
Do you think in like something kind of like how Kim J did on Korean American? Have you heard that album?
Yeah, I haven't heard all of it. Are you talking about as far as doing it like a crew EP, or
Well, not yeah,
are you
like
talking
how a
about
crew
just
EP is like how Kim J kind of like directed the entire thing, and like I mean, it's a lot of like he has some solo like dubstep songs on there and whatnot.
yeah, but there's like Effie and Sebi and
Yeah.
underscores and yeah, it would probably be something like that. It'd probably be like MIDI directed with like just a Avengers style like cast of features in there.
That would be so sick.
You know who I was gonna say?
Yeah.
I forgot to mention this, dude. I want to work with Gabby Start too.
Yeah.
I met Gabby in Tokyo at the Underscore show, and I don't know, dude. I love everything about him. We talked for like 30 seconds, but I was like, fuck, I want to spend more time with you.
Yeah.
He was very, very cool.
I love like
Yeah.
meeting just meeting artists in general. I haven't gotten to meet like many, but like there was one time when my first concert I went to was a Glaive concert, and he like shook up like a White Claw and gave it to me thinking it was gonna blow up my face, but I thought it was like the funniest thing ever, and I was just like, I would love to like just like hang out with you, because if this is just how you are, like I think that would just be the coolest thing ever, to just like not even like talk music, just like hanging out with these people just because they seem like so cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel like it's very hit or miss. I feel like some artists, it's like, but I mean, it depends on how you're meeting these people too, right? Like I met Gabby where we were watching the Underscore show, so it was like he didn't have to be an artist in that moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think when they're coming off stage and you're like trying to like strike up a conversation, it's gonna be trickier to like really see what they're like,
Yeah, 100%. We've been talking a lot about OTE. What is like the idea, and like how did OTE come to fruition? Because I remember just seeing you and it was just out the gate OTE, and then like learning more about you, I learned more about it. But what was the idea behind that?
Yeah, OTE originally, me and my friends were making video games in high school. That was like the dream.
Yeah.
To be like an indie game studio. And so we wanted like a name to function under. And so we did OTE, and then we did our suffix, like the file format that we worked on. So I was doing the visuals for the games. So I was like Ote.Jpeg. Had a friend who was doing programming. He was Ote.Exe. And then our music guy was Ote.Wav. And none of these guys really, we're all still friends. Like I just saw them the other day, but they're not really, they have jobs and, people to support and stuff. So they don't really do anything with OT anymore, but the concept is still just like creative studio. Like we have a Discord now, and it's like there's a section for every, or what do you call it, channel?
Yeah.
For like JPEG, MOV, EXE, and it's kind of like if you're into this type of thing, like this is where your people are, and you can like assign a role for like what kind of stuff you make.
That's so cool, dude.
So thanks, dude. Yeah, you need to jump in. It's kind of dead right now, but
Send me the invite.
I'll send you an invite. But yeah, I think the idea for OT is basically just to have like a community, right?
Yeah.
It's like the Jake Paulers of Ote.Jpeg.
Right on, man.
This is our Jake Paulers. This is our Maverick. What do they call it? Low Gang. Yeah.
Gang. I don't even think I know. Is Low Gang the Jake Paul thing, or
No, that was Logan Paul. Logan Paul was Low Gang. Zook, you're not tapped in at all.
not tapped in? I know you get tapped into Logan Paul and Jake Paul.
Yeah, you do. You gotta catch up.
Do you plan on like making it like, I don't know how to ask this question. Do you plan on transforming Ote, or like having plans to grow it into something more, or is it just more of like that small community of like tight knit people that you want to keep it as?
No, I love the idea of like, so I kind of use my royalties for music to share in the growth with people I work with. So like if I work with a videographer, I'll give them a small split from my songs, which is not much. Like I don't make much money off music, but it's something to show that like we're in this together, right? And I like the idea of having a larger community it's basically like what a label would do, right?
Yeah.
But larger community of artists, we all share a piece of the pie, and we all support each other. So it's like hypothetically, MIDI, he's our beat maker, right? So if you're an OTE, like you need a beat, you go to MIDI. I'm like, I mean, I'm JPEG, but I'm doing vocals on songs and stuff.
Yeah.
If you needed a hook, you could come to JPEG, be like, JPEG, I have this cool idea for a song. MIDI got me this beat. Can you try and put a hook on this?
Yeah.
And I want to just create this like pool of creatives where we can all just take pieces, and then everyone that touches it, owns a percentage of it, right?
Yeah. That's awesome.
That's kind of the grander vision, but I also don't want to rush into like trying to pull people in, and like it has to be natural. You know what I mean? Me and MIDI have been working with each other for like 2 years, and it's worked so naturally. I don't want to bring anyone else in that doesn't fit that fit well into our dynamic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Something kind of tangent to OTE, more so on the JPEG part of it. Something I find like so cool about you specifically is how distinct each era is and how distinct you are like on social media with like your visuals. You have the most like appealing visuals that I've seen and the most like unique ones. Cause you like, I think I was talking about this in the last interview kind of, but I feel everybody is really focused on like the homages, like especially in their visuals. Like Osama-sun is big on like doing like visual homages, and like some other I think Che was doing like visual homages as well. But I think something that's so striking about you is like how individualistic and original yours are. And I guess I wanted to ask, like, what is your process whenever you're going about creating these different distinct visuals for each, I would say, era of music for you?
I think when you put together a few songs, like, the first one was Trajectory. I had these handful of songs together, and you kind of like have a feel, right? Like you listen to it and there's some kind of image comes to mind. And so I try my best to stay true to that. I also definitely take inspiration. I just think I try to find more niche inspiration.
Yeah.
The Trajectory teaser, right? It's me running on a stationary treadmill, but I put the treadmill like, on the side of the freeway, and then like in a parking garage and just all over town, right? And line those up. So it's like me running. I honestly don't remember where I saw that, but I had seen that before, right? It's like a filmmaking trick, right? You keep your subject stationary, but you change the background. And then I probably saw a stationary treadmill advertisement or something. And I was like, oh, that could be, a cool teaser. And I like the concept of running in place. Just like, I think there's a lot to like explore there, symbolically. But as far as where the inspiration comes from, I think the biggest thing, is just like listening to the music and seeing how I feel. There's a lot of it comes from like Instagram posts I'll see. There's a site called Scroller that's just all. Have you seen Scroller before?
I don't think I have. No.
It's Scroller with like 3 R's, I think. Okay. I'll put that in the chat too. But they just have all these unique filmmaking techniques, and it's like 5-second clips, but it's just this whole like kind of like a Reddit feed, all these different things. And that's like, I'll try really hard to combine things. So if I see, like I said, subject stationary with the background changing, and then I see this cool guy like running on a stationary treadmill, put those two together, right? The face down video as well. I saw a video of a kid sitting in the back of it. Oh, no, you know what it was? It was Jane Dawson.
Really?
Is Jane Dawson was he has a video in a moving truck, but he's the reverse view. So he has a couch on the end of the moving truck, and the camera's like up by where the driver would be, right? Yeah. Shooting out the back.
Yeah.
And so he's like sitting on this couch, and behind him you see the other cars going by and stuff.
Yeah.
And I loved that, right? So I'm like, okay, this is a really cool concept. It's doable. I can rent a truck for $100 for 4 hours. But obviously I didn't want to just copy that. So I hit up my DJ friend. He does events. So he had these huge ass speakers. I had just bought this like 86-inch TV. So I made a lyric video, put it on the TV. We displayed the lyrics behind me while I'm like dancing in the truck. Right. Yeah. So I feel like the key is take things that already are like a hit, right? Something that you see and you're like, oh my God, that's incredible. Because then people are going to see yours and think the same thing. Exactly. You just have to shake it up enough to make it yours.
I have a question about Japan. What was it like? What was it like? What is the difference between like Japan? I know there's tons of them, but like what is it like in Japan? How is it different than being in Utah? Like I'm
Hmm.
so I because I've always wanted to visit Japan. I've obviously never been there. Um, I just want to know what it's like, honestly.
Do you mean more like the music scene or just living in Japan in general?
Um, Both. Honestly, I know. I know Starboy. You know about Starboy? He's like, he's like,
I don't think so.
he. Honestly, I don't blame you. He hasn't done anything since like 2024. But
Uh,
he was like a European artist, and he was working with like Ken Carson and Yeet. I think he does more production stuff now, and like he was like cool with Two Hollis, and they've had a falling out. But he was living in Japan for a while and got like a lot of um, like he learned a lot while he was there. And I've been wanting to visit Japan myself, but also like hearing about Starboy like made me want to visit more. And then also you being there makes me want to know more about
mm.
the scene and everything. So I just want to know. I just want to know everything about it, like the scene, what it's like being there.
Yeah, I'll try and like make it concise because there's a lot
I know.
to that. Uh, as far as the music scene goes, I don't have much to compare it to because I didn't go to shows much when I was in Utah. I was pretty scared. I was just starting out in music, right? I think
Mm,
when I went to Japan, I had only released Trajectory,
yeah.
and I had this kind of like mental block where I didn't want to see people from high school. I didn't want to be like peddling my one singular EP around because it felt like I hadn't proven myself yet, like I hadn't done enough to
Hmm.
show up at a show and be like, "Oh, I'm an artist. I'm an artist too." I went to a couple events in Utah, and I think the big difference is in Tokyo. There's just so many like pockets, so many niches. There's like the Chinese crew, right? Like I did a show at a primarily like Chinese tourist owned event,
Hmm.
um, or not tourist. They're expats, right? The people there are studying or working, but mostly Chinese homies who like had me go show up at that event. There's the more like Japanese centric events that are all like Japanese, native Japanese people, and then there's a lot of events that are mostly thrown by like college kids that are white from they're at an international school out there, or their parents are like diplomats or work for Hilton hotels or something.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that like in Utah you've got the scene. That's it. Like
Hmm.
even hyperpop, you kind of got to mix in like the cloud rap and like hip hop stuff because there's not enough just hyperpop kids.
Yeah.
But in Tokyo, it's like even within like hyperpop, you've got different groups, right? And different languages even between that. So
That's so cool.
it's really fun that way. And I think there's a lot of opportunity because of that.
Hmm.
As far as just living in Japan in general, it's really interesting. Like pretty much no one has a car, at
Yeah.
least in Tokyo, right?
Hmm.
So you spend a lot of time on trains. I saw a lot of people like throwing up on themselves on the train, going home from shows.
Hmm.
Um, it's uh, it's not too terribly different from what I imagine like living in New York might be like. Obviously, the language is different,
Hmm.
but I think a pretty there's a pretty strong focus on work. People are pretty rigid.
Hmm.
Obviously, in the music scene, there's a lot more like craziness, but
Yeah.
people are pretty like they keep to themselves. They take their work seriously. They take their passion seriously, and I think it's very motivating in that way. Like
Hmm.
seeing people, I think in the U.S. you'll go to like a McDonald's,
Hmm.
and in my experience, I don't have a real like I don't highly revere McDonald's as an institution, right?
Yeah.
So I can imagine if I worked there, I might not take it very seriously. And I
Hmm.
think a lot of people don't. In Japan, I feel like people take their job very seriously at whatever level it is, right?
Hmm.
Doesn't matter if you're fast food, doesn't matter if you're at a call center, whatever. It's like this is my job, this is how I contribute to society, and they take it seriously for the most part,
Yeah.
which I really like. I think it's very admirable.
Yeah. That's. I agree.
Right, and it makes me want to push harder on my music. It's like
Yeah.
sometimes you can get kind of bogged down, whether you're making YouTube videos or you're making music, you can kind of get in this funk of like,
Hmm.
man, like people aren't really listening, like
Yeah.
I don't do I need to try this hard, are people going to notice that I did this cool edit at the end of the video? But seeing people like take such care in jobs that they don't really have to,
Hmm.
it's like, damn, this is my art, this is my passion, this is the path I chose, it makes me want to really, give it my all as well. And it's a good environment to be in for sure.
100%. I feel like a lot of artists could really benefit from being kind of in an atmosphere like that, because I think that like for a lot of people, like a lot of people are in this kind of alone, and I think that being around people, whether it's music related or not, who just take what they're doing so seriously and they're so motivated and they're so driven about it, I think is something so beautiful about that. And then also, just something so like inspiring about that. And as somebody who's like really competitive, it's like that competition as well. Cause
Oh,
I have a
yeah.
lot of, I have a lot of friends who are posting music and a lot of friends who are like reviewing music as well. So I've, like I'll see somebody like doing a certain type of video or like doing a certain type of review, and I'm like, oh, I can do that. I gotta do that, and I gotta try doing it better, just to see if I can more so. And I think a lot of people could benefit from having that kind of community and that kind of like just people around,
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny you mentioned like, a lot of people are in this alone. I think when I was first starting, I kind of thought, well, this is going to be hard until I get, my crew together, until I like make those connections, and then it's going to be easy. And it's funny, like I don't think I can point out one specific person that definitely like put me on in a couple ways, which has been really great. But for the most part, everyone I've worked with has had like less monthlies, less followers, less, and I don't mean features. I mean like people, working on beats with me, or like working with me in like a more intimate way, making videos together, stuff
Yeah.
like that. And I'm a little ashamed to admit this, but when I was first starting, I remember like someone hitting me up about wanting to do a video, or hitting me up about wanting to work on a beat for me or something, and they'd have like 100 followers, and I'd be like, like I wouldn't give them the time of day, because in my head it's like, well, they haven't proven themselves, as if I had, but I think it's just important to like not fall into that trap of like judging people by like the limited exposure that they have. It's so hard. And I mean, I just recently kind of broke through on TikTok. I've had 2,000 followers for like 2 years now, right? And you really just don't know what someone's talent is. And I think if you're going around hunting like, oh, I'm gonna tap in with like all these popular kids in Tokyo, and then I'm gonna pop off,
Yeah.
like you're setting yourself up for failure. Because I went to Tokyo, I didn't get plugged in with the popular kids, but I ended up finding these other kids who were like just scraping by, like just starting out in music, working part-time jobs, and they've put me on too. They've helped me out a ton, and they've helped me work on music, meet new people. I've helped them meet important people, and yeah, I just think you have to like try as best you can, block out the like the what do you call it, metrics, like the metrics side of it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
The other thing, Zook, it's going to be hard for you to make this coherent, but do your best in CapCut.
Okay.
But I think it's important too to like remember, some people just don't have the visual part down, and that's so detrimental on socials. Like you can be an incredible artist, but if you have these ass visuals, I only look at it for 2 seconds. I can't tell if the song is good in 2 seconds, but I can tell if the visuals look good. And so people that struggle with that, I think, get written off a lot when they shouldn't be.
Yeah, I was actually, that's crazy, because I was talking to one of my friends in a different Discord, and they were talking about like I just don't know what's wrong. Like I don't know how I'm not really getting any attention because the music's good. And I agree with them. I agree that the music's good. And they were like, I don't understand what's going on. I'm like, the difference is like between you and these people that are popping off is you don't have like an established brand identity. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like nobody, like if I'm looking at you, I don't really know what's going on, because you're just posting like a video of you standing at your kitchen sink singing, and that's cool, but like that's just not gonna grab anybody's attention. And I think that something that you're really great about, especially in like all of your videos and promo and everything about your online persona, is the brand is so, again, like I said earlier, it's so striking, it's so original, and every video is appealing. And I feel like a lot of artists like don't realize that, and I feel like by the time they realize that, I wouldn't say it's too late, but it's like,
I wanna add to that though,
okay,
because I think it's important. especially right now, dude, and people don't want to accept this, but especially having lived and done music in Japan, you can see so clearly, bro. People in Brazil, people in Japan, people in Mexico, in wherever else, right? Where they're not predominantly speaking English, AI songs are going to sound pretty much just as good to them,
Yeah.
which I know is terrible. But bro, the biggest differentiator in AI songs is like you're going to hear something strange in the lyrics, right? You're gonna be like, that was weird. That's not like how a normal song
Yeah.
is typically written, right? If you're an engineer, you'll probably notice things like sonically that are off.
Yeah.
But honestly, I don't know if I even would, right? If it's a decent AI platform, like I might not notice that it's AI generated. So I think these people need to understand, like, good music just doesn't matter at all.
Yeah.
That's like that is step one, is like make pretty good music.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And so it's like, if you think like, okay, I made pretty good music, now I want to make money and be famous. It's like, oh, no. That's like, okay, I can doggy paddle in the pool now. I want an Olympic medal. Right? It's like, that's the very, very bare minimum, is make really good music.
Exactly.
And then beyond that, it's like this wall of marketing. That's it. That's like the whole industry, which sucks, and thankfully, like, I used to work in marketing, so I kind of enjoy that part. I really like making the videos, like, managing my like social calendar. But if that's not you, like, it's not worth getting into, dude. It's horrible.
Yeah.
It's so painful.
Yeah, it's rough. I remember like on the AI thing that you were talking about, I remember something that, like, I don't remember the emotion that like it invoked in me, but you posted something about like this group that makes really, really good music, and somebody made like an AI version of that artist, and they started getting like tons of streams and everything, and like the AI version,
Oh yeah.
the AI version had like tons more like monthly listeners and everything. And I think that, like, I don't know, we're now either in or almost past this age of like you were saying, like, the bare minimum is making good music, and then you have AI who's also like able to make a song out of one prompt. It's rough to like really, I guess, stand out in the sea of like 100,000 songs being uploaded to Spotify a day, and all the music that's being promoted on TikTok a day, especially now with the new like competitor of AI music, which is, I could make an entire video about that. But it's
What's crazy, you could make like Ote.Png, and you could feed the AI all of my songs and be like, make an album in this style, and you could release an album basically as me. And I couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy, man. I don't think it's there. I wish that there was more regulation on that, because I just feel like the blunt plagiarism is kind of crazy. I don't know if I'm gonna put this in the video, but I saw yesterday, the "We Are Charlie Kirk" song.
Yeah.
So it's like bar for bar like this Kirby Superstars outro. It has the same,
Really?
like, I need to find it. But it's,
Did someone like make a video comparing them or something?
no, I just saw somebody like posting the Kirby Superstars outro.
Or you're talking about the one that goes like, "We are Charlie Kirk."
Yes, dude.
Okay, odds this monster explodes when I crack it. I froze it by accident.
But I say all that to say, like, the sad thing is now, like, with the rise of AI, is like, it's almost like you have to be like more original than like being original, if that makes sense. I feel like rising artists are always gonna get like clone allegations, or gonna be like, oh, this just sounds like Two Hollis, or oh, this just sounds like Break-ins, or oh, this sounds like this. But then it's like, after that, you have to be so original that it's like I feel like it's almost like fighting AI during the creation of music sometimes. Like, I can't really speak for anybody else, but at least like in the few times that I'm like messing with stuff, it's like I feel like I have to fight AI like in every step of the way.
I know what you mean. And
Yeah.
I've been pretty tempted to use AI for like, there's this kid, I forget his name, but he has these really cool AI visuals. And some of my friends from Japan started sharing his stuff on their stories.
Mm.
And I was kind of shocked because I was like, I thought we universally agreed that like, it was, oh, you know who else does it? Voda Fuji. You know
Yeah.
Voda Fuji, right?
Yeah, I know him.
He was doing AI stuff. Like, he was probably the first person I saw do it.
Hmm.
And he was like popping off for it, and I was like, this is so, and I don't have anything against him. Like, if the tool's there, and we're competing against these multi-million-dollar labels and shit, right? So it's like,
Yeah.
whatever, use what you can. But it was just so strange to me how like quickly it was accepted,
Yeah.
because I was like, that's the end of us, right?
Yeah.
Like, they're gonna just start building us in test tubes, and we don't have a chance anymore.
Yeah, pretty much, man. I don't know. It's kind of like I have to take a step back, and I feel like sometimes like I have to. It's like wrestling with like, oh, do I want to like support this person while they're doing AI visuals, or is it like,
Bro, you know what's hard though, is there's gonna come a time where in like Premiere Pro, right, like Adobe Premiere, I'll be editing a video because it's already in Photoshop. I'll be editing in Photoshop, and like I have this like weird, let's say like when I did the dynamics like header image, I was in the back of the truck and there's a big TV behind me and it says dynamics. The light was so bright, it was kind of shining. It made it look like I had a dent in my head. And so I used there's a brush that you can like smudge brush, I think, and I kind of like pulled my head up and made it round again, right?
yeah,
But now the current version of Photoshop, I could just select that with the lasso tool, right click it and say generative AI, smooth out top of head, and it would be perfect.
yeah,
Right? And so it's like, at what point does Premiere have that same selection thing where it's like I'm standing in front of a door and I select the door on my clip and say have a hand reach around all the edges of the door frame like a horror movie, right?
yeah,
And do we not use that?
yeah,
It's just like one of the tools in my Premiere editor. It's like, of course I'm going to use it. I'm not going to go reshoot and hire 4 actors to put their hands on the doors.
exactly.
But so I don't know. It's unavoidable, and I understand that. It still feels bad
Yeah.
to see it, but
Yeah, I agree. What is your process that you go through whenever you're creating like EPs, projects, singles? Are you just like in there with MIDI, bouncing ideas off of each other? Do you like? I know some people start with like a Pinterest board. What is kind of your process whenever you're going about creating EPs and singles?
we don't ever really look at like visual stuff until the songs are done. Sometimes I think dynamics we tried to do that a little bit, but it didn't really turn out. I think it's best to just lead with the music, but it just depends. I'll sometimes get like a tune in my head, or I'll think of like a couple lines that feel like hooky, and I'll just record them in voice memos. I'll just sing it into my voice memos. And then me and MIDI, I'll either find a beat that I like, because some of my stuff still is just other producers online that I find the beat and I'm like, hey, can I buy that? But the majority is MIDI's work. And so I'll either find a beat and then I'll go through some of my old voice memos, see if anything matches up right to it. Or me and MIDI will sit down and we'll like scroll samples. Photo shoots and Just Like This we just like sat down for 2 hours, scrolled through Splice, took a sample, and we're like, wait, what if we like chopped out the middle, 2 beats of that and then did this, and we just play with it until it feels right. It's largely beat first. We find a sound, we find a couple samples that we like, right, that feels like the energy. I think acceleration, you can tell it's a bit like brighter, more guitars,
Yeah,
more like punchy, bouncy.
yeah,
And so we'd find a few of those that we liked, and then we just start building out a beat. And the song structure almost always comes from just like how my writing feels at the time. So like we'll usually start with like hook, verse, hook, verse, hook, or verse, hook, verse, hook. And then a lot of times I'll like think of a bridge I want to do, and we'll put a bridge in, or we'll put a verse because we want to do a double chorus and have like a breakdown chorus for the second one or whatever. But yeah, it's just like playing it by ear, and for the most part, beat. I'll put lyrics down by myself. I don't really talk to MIDI about lyrics too often. He'll give input once it's done usually. Yeah, and then once we have songs put together, we'll start kind of like building out a vision board for what we want to do to like describe these to people on socials.
it's so cool, like the relationship that you guys have.
Bro, it does feel unfair. A lot of the homies in Japan will be like, how did you find MIDI? Like, how much do MIDI beats cost? And I was like, oh, I don't know. We're just a team. And they're like, what? You're not paying for this? Like people ask like how much was photo shoots. I'm like, I didn't pay for photo shoots. We just made that. And like people can't believe that MIDI's working for free for me.
That's crazy. Yeah.
But no, we're like brothers. Like we take care of each other. If I make money, he makes money. You know what I mean? So it's like we're very much in it together.
Hell yeah, man. I got one last question that I'm gonna ask.
Okay.
All right. Actually, I might have another one, but we'll see how I'm feeling.
Okay.
Let's see.
Sounds good.
What is like some advice that you would give to new artists? I know we've gone through like a lot of advice through the video, but what is something that like if you had to tell a new artist one thing and they just had to like kind of stick with that, what would it be?
I actually, in this interview that just went up with Provo Music Magazine, I said it was like one thing to tell your younger self, and I said create at your own pace, don't stress it. But I feel like that's not really a very good answer, because sometimes you gotta stress it. If I was a younger artist, I honestly would say like it's hard, because I think everyone when they start out in music, they're like, I am gonna go so hard, I'm so committed, I am going to win no matter what. And this is like heartbreaking to say, but it's just like not in your hands. Whether you make it or not is just not up to you. And you can do everything right, and you can make fantastic music and fantastic visuals and meet all the right people, and you still just like might not really make it.
Yeah.
I mean, how many people can we think of that popped off like when we were in high school that now are just working normal jobs? I said homes because I was thinking about this rapper who now renovates homes that I loved. But it's crazy. Like my little brother was telling me, he's like, bro, you should get a feature from him, because he's probably cheap now. He's not really doing music anymore. And it's pointless at this point. But yeah, like I think people think, oh yeah, I know making it is 1 in a million, but I'm 1 in a million. And it's like, no. Making it's 1 in a million. But even when you make it, you're making like minimum wage off your music. If you make minimum wage off your music, you've made it. Yeah. Technically, right? Like nobody gets to do that.
Yeah.
So I just think if I was going to give advice to someone, I would say do music on the side. Probably. That's what I did. I've only been like full-time in music for a year-ish, and I still freelance graphic design. So like I'm still, working here and there. My brother, he's like a big touring musician. They just finished a tour in Europe. He still works as a therapist. Like there's no world where making good music takes all of your time.
Yeah.
I think the most valuable thing you can do for your career is have a stable income and use that to fuel what you want to do creatively.
Yeah. I was
depressing. I feel bad, but
no, I mean, I honestly, like, I think it's really, I was going to have another question. I was like, what's like one of your hot takes about music? And I feel like this kind of like fits into that a little bit, but I think I was just talking to somebody else, and they said like the biggest 3 contributors to music is like money, connections, and luck. And we got into this argument where they were saying that like money and connections are the more important aspect of it. And I was like, well, how many people do you know that we both know that have the money, have the connections, and unfortunately, like, it just doesn't work out. And I'm like, I feel like, unfortunately, like with the algorithm, you have no control over who your music gets put in front of. I would argue actually now more so that like there's a 4th thing that's like just as important. I would say more important than like the luck is like the persistence. Because it's like you can be making music for a while. It wasn't like, who was it? JPEG Mafia was like making music forever before he blew up or something like that. I think I read something about that somewhere. He was like making music.
I don't know.
13.
I'm the only JPEG. I don't know about any other JPEGs.
There's a.
But I know what you mean.
Yeah, like
I
know. I think that like the persistence is almost like more important than the luck, in my opinion. Like thinking about it now, just because if you're persistent enough, like you will get lucky. I feel like.
Well, the thing is, it's like you're buying your lottery ticket every day, right? Like, which is a bad a bad example because the lottery's evil, but
Yeah.
yeah, there's some like XQC clip where he's like, you have to put your name in the hat every day, and eventually you'll get drawn from the hat. Like, yeah, there's definitely you will never get lucky if you don't try, but trying doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna get lucky. And I think there's this whole like cocktail of ingredients you need, which is like, I had this moment on TikTok, right, where I had a bunch of attraction. It's like, if I wasn't prepared with my 2 years of posting every day, if not twice or 3 times a day, I don't know if I would have had it in me to like keep up that traction and keep posting every day and keep telling that story. But it's like, I knew the TikTok game. I was like, I had no audience, but I was still like playing well, right? On my own terms. And then all of a sudden I have this audience. And it's like, okay, I know what to do. Like, I practiced for this, right? So like, that's important. But you've also, I feel like, I don't know, man, you gotta have money on the side so you can promote things when you need it. Like, if I would have had more money, dude, and I had Provo Music Magazine reaching out to me because I'm like going viral in Tokyo, I would have reached out to other like news outlets and paid for stories and like tried to make it like a bigger thing than it was, which is a little silly, but it's like, if you have the funds to do that, every like bit of luck you get turns into a marketing campaign.
Exactly.
But if you don't have the money, you don't have the connections, right? Like, that doesn't happen.
Exactly.
So yeah, like I agree with you. You have to just keep putting your name in the hat. It's still it's so goddamn hard, dude.
It is really
it's
hard,
so
dude.
hard.
It is really hard, dude. Do you have any final thoughts over just anything?
Yeah, I want to say to anyone who's watching this, it's incredibly rewarding to look back at cool shit you've made, whether you crochet or make movies with your friends or make music. Even if nobody sees it, one day you could sit down with your kid, and be like, look at this cool stuff I made in my 20s. And that's enough. I think like we've really dug into like the marketing of it and like basically telling people they're never going to make it. And I just think like at the end of the day, if you think it's really cool, you're going to be so proud of it. Like I look back and I watch the Face Down music video all the time because I just think that was so cool. I think we killed it.
Yeah.
And I'll show people that forever. Like I'll be 35, like working some desk job maybe, and I'll be like, oh yeah, like when I was 20, I like went to Japan and did music. Like here's a music video. Like that's just fun. Yeah. Like create some lore. You know what I mean? Even if you don't hop off and get famous, it's worth it.
Yeah, I think the lore aspect is the best part of it. I think just like in the future being like, I don't know, being like really old and be like, hey, look at what I did. And it's just you doing face.
Yeah.
Or even like just like some of the craziest music that you've ever heard, but it's like from this 70-year-old man. It's like that'd be so cool.
It's kind of crazy. Yeah, bro, imagine like we'll be old men that made hyperpop. Whereas like the old men now, we listen to their stuff, it's very like, it's like 50s music, 60s music. It'll be a weird time to be alive.
Yeah. It'd be
when all the grandpas were like, yeah, I was a hyperpop artist.
Yeah, like hyperpop. Like I think thinking about like some of my favorite hyperpop artists, like Two Hollis. I mean, Two Hollis isn't really hyperpop, but like old Two Hollis, like old Glaive. They're just like, I used to make hyperpop back in the day, and you just listen to it. It's like the craziest shit ever.
Old Dylan Brady, old Lara Les, like 100 Gex. Yeah, when I was your age, I was making crazy, or what is it, Stupid Horse? I was making Stupid Horse. That's crazy. That'll be a good time to be alive.
Yeah. I think that is going to be it.
Okay.
So, final thing I'm going to say, never stop making music. Your music is amazing. You make some of the most entertaining. Every time that you post, I have the notifications on for the Spotify. I know when you put it up. I check it out as soon as it uploads. Never stop making music, man. And
thanks, bro.
I think that's gonna be it, man.
Oh, do you want a little exclusive teaser of the next song?
Dude, I would love an exclusive teaser of the next song, dude.
I don't know if it'll come through well. This is just for you, okay?
Fucking in my bedroom, put it past you. Always did me wrong, it did you worse because I had to. Get a million tattoos, always in a bad mood. You don't gotta love me, just be careful who you talk to.
All right, guys. So as you saw, Ote.Jpeg, what a legend. You guys really need to tap into him. I'm gonna link all of his socials down below, his Instagram, his TikTok, his YouTube. We're gonna put all that into the description down below. I beg you guys to please tap into him. He is so different. If you could tell by like the conversation that we had, he thinks about things from a different angle. He's had a lot of different life experiences, which I think gives him a lot of things to pull from creatively, which is really cool. And like I said, you guys need to tap in. I love JPEG. He's one of my buddies. I've known him for a while. Tap into him, and that's gonna be the video.